Now mind you, I never liked Ron Paul. Never did, never will. I know the reasons why I don't like him, and I didn't need racism and sexism and all that other stuff to make me dislike him. I know his politics, I know what he wants, the Confederacy, and that is just opposed to everything that is communism and that state communism. But what gets me is how didn't Anonymous like Ron Paul at one point? Weren't they like having a love affair and now all of a sudden they're having a tiff? What went on? Was Ron Paul cheating on Anonymous behind their back? Was Ron Paul seeing somebody else? Was Ron Paul pulling a Newt Gingrich? What the fuck? You know? I mean, I know Anonymous is a bunch of hacker terrorist wannabes, so they can't be trusted. But I'm shocked at how militantly they were for Ron Paul, and now they're exposing him and treating him like shit. To be fair, I believe Ron Paul did it first when I heard that Ron Paul was trying to find out who the members were, who Anonymous was individually when they were doing something to his website like a week ago. I don't remember. I don't keep up with the shit because I know Ron Paul is not going to win the elections anyway. So why are we even worrying about this crap? You know, I mean, it does say something about the Republican Party and about politics in general when someone like Ron Paul is legitimate, but Ron Paul himself is not the threat. It is his collective. It is his group mentality. And that is why white supremacy and libertarians go hand in hand. While libertarians might not in and of themselves support racism and sexism and homophobia and shit, white supremacy does and uses libertarian means to do it. They figure with a free market they can discriminate against all these groups of people all they want to. They figure in a states' rights-based society they can elect the laws that can discriminate against these people all they want to. They worry about a big federal government imposing equality upon them, and where the law is created equally for everybody. So they use the method of small government in order to govern our lives even more, ironically, because there are less checks and balances. There are less, bureaucracy. There are less means available to even the playing field. And they know that. That's why they support it. I talked about this in my previous video about how the Christian right and the libertarians are closely they're closely tied together, but there's no logical reason for them to be. No Christian right-winger wants prostitutes and drug dealers and shit like that, but they use the same means for different ends. And I'm wondering why the hell Anonymous all of a sudden has lost their nerve and is pulling back against the support of Ron Paul. That's the main question, because what's their motive? What is their goal? And, as much as I don't like Ron Paul, and I know what the white supremacist movement is like personally, I see them as the lesser evil. I see them as a mundane, infantile bunch of psychopaths that are of no threat to anybody. They're never going to get their wish completely. They might get more states' rights, which would suck, but they will never get their pro-white, anti-everything else utopia that they wish for every day. It's just not going to happen. And I worry more about what Anonymous is doing and why they're doing it, because they are so nihilistic and they just don't explain anything. All they talk about is how they're pissed off, they're anonymous, they don't forgive or forget. What the fuck does that mean? Well, why are they doing the things that they do? Why are they exposing Ron Paul? What does Ron Paul have to do with, Wall Street? What does Wall Street have to do with the banks? What does banks have to do with some random politician in some random state that isn't doing anything to anybody? It just doesn't add up. And that makes me believe that they are the real domestic terrorists and our government isn't doing shit about them. So, that's my video. I'm kind of busy. I wasn't planning to make a video, but I saw that you did one about Ron Paul and Anonymous, and I thought of doing it myself, but I figured it wasn't that important of a topic. But since you brought it up, I figured I'd do a reply video, and it came out better that way because it's better. I feel like I'm doing a better job replying to you as opposed to just bringing the topic up. So see you later.